Hey guys, this is Seven.
And this is Charlotte, and today we are going to discuss a case from Detective Conan Reunion with Black Organization. It spans from manga chapter 238 to 242 and episodes 176 to 178. But for future references, we'll be using the manga chapters as our base.
So let's get started with the first chapter. The name of the chapter is The Street Corner of Betrayal. We get to see the gang walking down a street and they come across Jin's favorite car. And there is a dialogue from Jin and he says that let's celebrate our little reunion with your favorite color scarlet.
So, in the next moment, we see Haibara waking up from this nightmare. So, it was a bad dream for her, but in the next moment we see the gang again discussing about snow, and Haibara is terrified of her dream last night.
Yeah, and she kind of recalls her dream, and again those same lines with your favorite color scarlet. So there is definitely some history here, I think, because how would Jin know about Haibara's favorite color? I mean, we know that they were part of the Black Organization, but then again, to know somebody's favorite color, you would have to kind of know them personally, right?
Exactly, and they were from different departments in Black Organization, and it is not easy to know across departments. So they have more than a professional relationship when they were in the Black Organization. That's what I gather.
Yeah, Jin was more from the Bang Bang department, and our Sherry is from the scientific department. So yeah, it is true. And I guess as we go on more in the chapter, we'll find out what exactly their connection was, and we can discuss more about the clues that we have had regarding their relationship. So anyway, moving back to the chapter. Typical Haibara, I think she says cryptic things like, I wish I could vanish, that's bound to happen sooner or later, and everybody say that we are there for you and all of that, reassuring her. But yeah, I think only Conan knows that something weird is going on.
Yeah, and Conan swears to protect her. I find it very romantic. And again, like in the nightmare, what she saw, the same thing happens. The gang walks around and they spot Jean's favorite car, a Porsche 356A. It's a classic car and not easy to find around.
If you see it, you're definitely going to notice it and keep a track like, yeah, this is that car. And again, we see Conan being like the complete nerd or encyclopedia that he is. He is able to say the exact version of the car, how old it might be. His usual detective self, right?
Yeah, and Haibara knows that it's Jean's favorite car.
Conan goes into an immediate state of shock and immediately calls Professor Hakasa to get back there with some equipments to get inside the car and bug it, which he does successfully. But the moment they bug it, they see gin and vodka across the street, and Haibara is shit scared, as she should be.
But it is unusual for them to be around this part of town.
That is definitely true. We will find out later in the chapter why they were here.
But it was very reckless to break into their car in the middle of the day.
I think you're right, it was reckless, but you have to understand that Conan at this point has very little information about the Black Organization, and he is willing to do anything to go back to his actual age. He is longing to be with Ran, no matter how romantic you think Conan and Haibara are. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
And for some time even they could follow the Black Organization car and listen to their conversation.
Yeah, I think Jin already got some clues, because when Jin and Vodka approached the car, they saw some steps in the snow. We have to remember that it was snowing, and Jin noticed the steps. And I think Jin is also someone who is very perceptive of his environment. Like we see this with Amuro-san, Heiji, Conan, Nakai. Like they are very, very aware of what is in their surroundings. So it's something that I really like about Jin.
Yeah, right. So do you think like at that moment he already knew something was up with their car and it might have been tampered with?
No, I don't think so because he was busy making a call for the farewell party. He was making a call to Pisco to arrange for the murder, right? So I think that was more important for him. But right after the call, when he noticed the hair, I think he was sure that something is wrong.
Yeah, a very specific color, a strawberry blonde hair, and he knows who it belongs to.
Yeah. Seems like he has like seen that hair before, or he has definitely held that hair in his hand before because he recognized it in an instant. Like, I'm no detective, but if I see a human hair, like, it just seems to me like any other human hair, right?
Yeah, but it's also a very specific color and not
Yeah.
easily found around. And
Yeah.
also in that moment, we see him imagining Sherry naked.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
also a point as to it's not a professional level of relationship.
Yeah. He imagines Sherry in a defenseless, unclothed way, which I think is showing Sherry as the victim, but there could be more to it, no doubt.
So this chapter ends over here where Jin is sure that Sherry is around and he has been tasked to find Sherry and eliminate her.
Yeah. So the next chapter is the Black Funeral, right? So we see that Conan and Haibara have gone to the hotel where the party is going to happen, and they have ordered Pisco to assassinate somebody there. And I think Haibara is hesitating to go there because she knows that it's really dangerous. But I think Conan is not going to let it go. He wants to take them on.
Like in the last
Yeah.
chapter we saw he is reckless because he wants to quickly revert back to
Yeah.
Shinichi and get back to
Yeah.
Ran. This time also he follows them even though Haibara says it's dangerous not to go there, but he persuades Haibara. He was going to go alone, but Haibara follows him.
So later after that we see Jin have parked their car and they're searching the car for bugs, and Jin makes a call again and informs Pisco that the woman who betrayed the organization is here, and he wants Pisco to bring him her head, and he doesn't mind if her body is missing. So he has some kind of a fascination with her head because he could have just said that shoot her or something, but he wants the head no matter what. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the hair and the head, it kind of connects.
You're right. So they go into the hotel and Haibara just stays behind Conan to be safe.
Yeah, see, she has another hallucination where she imagines Jin shooting her, but there is this specific kind of a relationship with Jin because again we have to understand that there are two black organization members here, and she's only thinking about Jin shooting her, not Vodka. Whereas Vodka is equally dangerous, and Vodka refers to Jin as older brother, right, Aniki. So it's really odd to see that Sherry is only thinking about Jin killing her and not Vodka.
Because in almost every gin vodka combination, we have seen Jin to be more active on the killing side, and on the perceptive side, we see and perceive Jin to be more dangerous than Vodka. Vodka is more of a passive.
Vodka is
kind.
more like a pet dog, to be honest, who does Jin's bidding for him. But yeah, Jin is definitely more dangerous. We also know that Jin killed Haibara's older sister and the rest of her family.
So Conan gives Haibara his glasses and they talk about Superman and Clark Kent, which is kind of cute.
Conan being his charming self, I guess. I love Jin because Jin gets so many of these amazing dialogues. Like this one where he says that now that we know her location, it'll be a piece of cake to track her down. The stench of a traitor never fades. Like this is one of my all-time favorite dialogues from DC.
These are the kind of dialogues which Akai Shuichi
Yeah,
also
yeah.
gets to say from time
Yeah,
to
they're
time. Cryptic
they're actually very
dialogues.
similar, and I would love to see a Jin versus Akai fight like head on.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And I'm kind of rooting for Jin there.
They are on
I
par.
don't know why.
Oh my god. You are the villain here.
I think I always have been.
Alright, so we move on to the plot of the
Yeah,
story.
we get introduced to 7 characters: an award-winning author, Mika, Nanjo, the owner of a professional baseball team, Yasui Mihi, a popular music producer, Nayo Tarumi, a famous American actress who is later going to be my favorite character, Chris Vineyard, 29 years old, which is very suspicious. We see Kenzo Masuyama, 71-year-old auto manufacturer, and we see Yoshiharu Tawara, 58-year-old university professor. So right away, because these characters are highlighted, I think whatever is going to happen next, one of these guys is going to be the villain, and one of these guys might also be the victim. Like that is what usually happens.
Yeah, like any other case, but here are some exceptions because black organization
Involved,
is connected.
So one of these guys is definitely Pisco, right? Because he's going to be the one who is going to kill whoever the victim is, and also who has been ordered to kill Haibara.
So alright, we move on to a blackout because there is going to be a presentation. And also we see the homicide department of Tokyo Metropolitan Police.
Yep, Conan has tipped them about a murder, and that is why they're here. Very convenient. In the darkness, they're looking everywhere, here and there. Suddenly, a flash happens, which is shocking, and then there is a loud sound of something falling. And we see a handkerchief falling on Conan's face.
Very convenient again.
Very convenient.
It could have fallen anywhere else.
Yeah,
on Conan.
But on Conan. But if it doesn't fall on Conan, then how will he solve the case, right?
Right.
Yeah. Then the lights are turned on, and we see that the chandelier has fallen on the victim.
And the victim here is the politician Momiguchi Shigehiko is dead.
Yep.
So the next chapter is chapter 240, a sudden farewell.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So everyone gathers around the victim and the fallen chandelier, and the police has arrived, but they could not stop the murder. How ironic.
Yep.
They examine the victim.
They question all the other 7 people. One fun fact is that Chris Vineyard answers in English. She doesn't speak in the Japanese language.
Right. She has a translator.
Yeah, so everybody is kind of giving their excuse, and they're trying to play it off as if it was an accident, right? One of the suspects says that the chandelier was rusty and it just fell. There is no contraption that could make the chandelier fall. It's very odd because we don't see anything like that. And also to time it, right? To make sure that the victim was under the chandelier, that is also very odd. So everybody is kind of...
Everyone wants to end it and leave the place right away. Like everybody seems suspicious all of a sudden.
Yeah, everybody just wants to play it off as an accident. But right then, Yasu Mihe, who is chomping on fried rice, finds something in his mouth that he spits, and that is going to be our first clue, or rather our second clue, because the handkerchief fell on Conan. So this seems like the fragment of the chandelier. But what is it doing on the plate of food, right? That is very suspicious.
Right. So handkerchief is our first evidence, and second is that hook from the chandelier in the food, which is not very close to the fallen chandelier.
Yep. But we see that Haibara has also grabbed Conan's hand, and she's like, we have to get out of here right now, right? And she thinks that Conan cannot solve the case, but right then Conan flashes the handkerchief in front of her, and it's written a commemoration of director Salamaki. So basically it means that this handkerchief belonged to the person who killed, or definitely belonged to one of the guests, and it is somehow related to the case. And later Conan finds out that in the party different sets of people have been given different sets of colors of handkerchiefs, so definitely it's one of a clue.
Yeah, so it becomes more definitive. There are 7 particular purple color handkerchief, and 7 people become suspect.
And then they kind of go towards the gate where Conan has basically gone to talk to the detectives. But right then, the press is trying to come in, and the gate opens, and the whole room is looking at Haibara and Conan. And in that moment, we see a schiller, which basically means that it is Pisco who has noticed Haibara. And we see that he types something on a small mini computer, and what he's typing is Sherry, and he gets Sherry's face, and he has connected Haibara to Sherry.
Okay, so we can say that Pisco is also perceptive, because it's not easy to see a child's face and connect it to an adult person and just think that they are the same person right then and there.
Yeah, true. But then again, we have to remember that her hair color is very unique, right? And the highlight was on them in that moment.
And Also because he knew that Haibara, I mean Shiho Miyano or
Yeah.
Sherry is going to be there, and then we see the police discussing the case and Conan investigating on his own. But then the press rushes in, and in the crowd they lose track of one another.
And we see that Pisco has grabbed Haibara and probably used chloroform to render her senseless and kidnapped her.
That gave me goosebumps when I first read it.
Yeah. So that is the end of the first part of the video.
And Haibara is kidnapped and it's not looking good for her.
Yep.
Conan has noticed that or not.
Yeah, I don't think Conan has noticed her getting kidnapped, but I think Conan has just noticed that he cannot find Haibara anywhere. Yeah.
So yeah, this first part of the case discussion is over.
So stay tuned because we are going to be releasing the second video also very soon.
So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to receive notification from our upcoming videos. Peace out.
Peace out, guys.